So that was an interesting illustration at the end.
But, okay, so as you were speaking, you know how I always meet Jesus in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like almost like a dome. Like my garden's like in a dome.
So it's like shaped like a womb
So
almost.
it's shaped like a womb. So it made complete sense to me. Like that's my safe place to meet Jesus. Like there's beautiful flowers and trees and everything, but they all come up. It's not open. It's not like I'm ever looking at a beautiful sky.
Interesting.
And that's why I think I feel like when I do my Jesus time or use my sacred imagination, I always feel so safe. It's never a scary space for me.
Well, if he's the creator of all things, it would make sense that he has an element of himself that mimics a womb,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean,
Because he's going to want to put a baby in the safest place possible.
yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
And you know, as you were speaking about your garden, I don't know if I've told you this before, nor do I know where I ever heard this, but it made a lot of sense. You know, when Jesus ascended and they went to go to the women went to the tomb and they mistaken him for the gardener.
Oh.
And that demonstrated or illustrated like his love of the garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it feels like a full circle moment with your own personal experience. Like, what if Jesus loved the flowers and the garden, and so much so because it felt safe.
Yeah.
And it really is a beautiful display of the Father in the natural realm.
And the Garden of Eden was beautiful and it had everything, and the Adam and Eve felt safe.
So safe until
Well, it's coming like full circle.
Yeah.
Like the garden's no stranger for Jesus to be walking in.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Makes you wonder if there's more layers to the Garden of Gethsemane then.
Right. All the gardens were good.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's these kind of aha moments that we sit with and we just kind of discuss real time that makes me hunger even more for my alignment with God's covenant and God's agreement of my life. Like these conversations pour the fuel on that fire so I keep pursuing the pure agreements and the words of my Father.
Because that's so exciting. So now I'm thinking about Eve. She made an agreement with the snake, right? But if she never would have came into agreement with what he was saying, then the garden wouldn't have got rocked in the first place.
Right. Yeah, it all started with an agreement, which agreements go that goes back to Hebrews 13:5 that I started with, because Satan, the serpent, said, did God really say?
Yes.
Which means that going back to Hebrews 13:5, God never left or forsook them.
Right.
But Satan was able to be like, but did God really say this?
Yeah.
And the way he presented it was with the lens of covetousness.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Desirable eyeballs.
I'm high-fiving you.
Got it back. I received it. It began, excuse me, why my words are real struggle today. It began with coveting something because they didn't believe in what God had said.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Wow.
I'm like mind blown. People are probably like, yeah, duh. But I'm like, it's blowing my mind over here.
It's blowing my mind too. And it's blowing my mind even more because if I'm fully honest, this week has felt like a lot of reading for our Bible reading, and
so far behind. I'm still Micah.
That's okay. I did like 4 days worth in one day. So it's okay. But unfortunately, then I have to tell you that there's not a lot of short days. But all that said, despite all the consumption I've had, which I feel like it's in here, I just can't recall it all. that one verse out of all of the readings in a week jumped out. And here we are having a full circle moment around a New Testament scripture that we're making connections with real time back to the beginning, Genesis.
Yeah.
That is God.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that like graphic on social media where it's like an open Bible and they show like different colored lines linking up from Old Testament to New Testament? It's like this one massive rainbow.
No, but I am now because my phone is listening.
Let me know what you think when you see it. That also links to our full podcast.
Yes.
But speaking of that, I think that was such a good point you made about social media. And you know, like I've said, many people are like swearing that their phones are listening to their thoughts, but I think it shows the validity on thoughts or things because our thoughts don't just sit in our head, they dictate our actions.
Yes.
Which lead us into some sort of agreement.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad you shared that.
And I think sometimes whether you're in a good place mentally or like a self-condemning place mentally, your algorithm will shift and you'll get confirmation on either thing. Do you ever notice that? Like when you're like going good, then you like get all this like joyful, happy stuff. But then when life gets heavy or things get hard, it's just like this serious stuff. And it's just like things. And you're just like, oh, that's just like me. She's struggling too. Look at that. And I'm just like, you're getting that immediate confirmation.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
And then like, I know a lot of times I'll be like, oh, me too. But that's an agreement.
Well, so exactly, which then just kind of digs you deeper into the hole. There's this need to acknowledge where you are.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of people say God meets you, Jesus meets you where you're at. And I think that's true, but he doesn't leave you there.
Right.
And social media will try and leave you where you are. Or make you dig into it even deeper. So it's a bigger hole, deeper hole, harder hole to get out of.
And then that's when you start searching for your God, your guru, your 5 steps to get you out.
Yeah. That's really good. And that's actually a really good point. And this is something I notice, and it complements what you're saying in a more lighthearted way, but also not really. We talked about screens. We talked about what's on the TV, what they're forecasting, as well as social media. But let me tell you something that happened to me. We talk about algorithms. We talk about how we have some Jesus-loving algorithms, okay? I have gone through a phase where I haven't slept great. That's happened periodically this year. And so my brain's just kind of in the middle of the night. So what do? I just go on Instagram, right? And I go to the Explore page. Lots of Jesus content at first. And there will be one. This is mind-blowing. It just shows that there's always an intent to lead us somewhere. There will be one video of Taylor Swift, just one. And I clicked on one, Nikki, and my entire Explore page changed to her forever. Like, they didn't go away, no matter how much other Jesus content I looked at. So it's not only true what you shared, but then also if they have a bigger agenda and you express any kind of interest, they're going to make sure that somehow you fall into that and agree with that, because I have zero interest in Taylor Swift. None.
Yeah.
I am not a Swiftie.
Right. No, me neither.
But you wouldn't have known it because I looked at one video.
Yeah.
I was shocked, and I was angry because then I was like, you got an agenda here. I don't even know what you're trying to do right now, but your girl was just trying to just find some stuff.
Well, that was an example too that I didn't say in the episode. How many times when I was not Jesus girl, how many songs did I sing out loud and coming into agreement with those words that I sang out loud?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those, we're not even realizing what we're doing.
You know, there's so much to that, right? It's both like the hurts they're at and the different ways they're playing, but then also makes me think of my childhood / teenhood. Rap was really big, and it was all very sexual.
Mm-hmm.
So is it coincidental that everyone listens to that and then people struggle with sexual sin?
Right.
Exactly like you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
probably not.
Right. Because you think it's okay, everybody's doing it, everybody's coming to agreement with it.
Just
like, it's
listening
no
to it.
no big deal. Like, it makes it normalizes things that shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's a really good example of like why scripture says be in the world, not of it. It's only one example of many that we need to consider as followers of Jesus. But as extreme as I think for a season, many followers of Christ, or I'll just deem Christians actually, because Christians unfortunately weren't always following Jesus truly, thought a lot of extreme Christians were over the top. But there is a reason why the convictions within them kept getting stronger.
Yeah.
It's not to judge the world. It's to protect, so then they can have a positive effect on the world.
Right.
And I felt like someone needed to hear that, because I feel often people want to expect the best, believe the best in people, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that innately. But it's then allowing yourself to experience the world through their eyes and keeping them stuck, instead of you purifying yourself to then be the light to change the world.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
It's interesting. And I guess my last thought on that just came to me is, when you allow people you love to stay where they are, like I said a little bit ago, of Jesus meets us where we're at but doesn't leave us there. If you allow someone you love to stay where they're at, it's not love. And that's really important to keep in mind as well. You're actually, by allowing them to stay, you're coming into agreement with something that's not in alignment with God.
Yeah. And that can be hard. Like, I used to do that with my niece. She would say things and whatever, but I would always speak God's truth into her. Whether she grabbed it or not, I was definitely a seed planter for that. And I would say, just whatever God was revealing to me at that moment.
Yeah. One of my favorite, I've had a lot of like sadder moments recently, and I think it's because we're coming, one, into it's really dreary outside, but like two, it's coming to the end of the year where things got really hard with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had some really tough days emotionally. And one of my favorite things I did recently was, I have this armoire and I made a bulletin board and I put some pictures of him up, but then I put his I think, a lack of a better term, I can't remember what it's called. I think it was like his rebirth certificate or salvation certificate, but it answered some questions. And one was like, who led you to Christ? And he put Hope, my daughter. I didn't technically lead him to Christ. I was not there when he like full blown said yes.
Yeah.
He did it at Celebration or Celebrate Recovery, which thanks to you, I learned about, which is a cool full circle moment as I'm speaking. But it reminds me of your story with your niece, because they were the seeds I planted for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wall kicking moments. But I knew, even despite, which I know you can speak on this too or relate to it, despite hurt that may have been extended to me throughout the journey, I knew within myself that whatever was showing up in his actions, his words, whatever, they were not him. He was in unknowingly so many agreements with the wrong kingdom. And we did our best of planting the seeds. And I believe both of us, in different ways, saw what those seeds did.
Yes.
And the outcomes for both of them were not what we wanted, but we know that we pointed them to the only thing that matters, and actually helped them answer that question of, will you be my child today? We helped them.
That's right.
Be God's child.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.